and this is Disney Geek Runner. So first things first, what I will say is I am not very confident in front of a camera. This is way out of my comfort zone, but I thought I'd give it a go. Basically, I'm a runner. I do a lot of road running, probably 17 to 20 miles a week. That might be not a lot for some people, but it's a lot for me. And you search YouTube and things like that for hints and tips for your normal runner, and you know, there's lots of them out there that say, oh, I'm just the normal average runner, I'm not an athlete, things like that, and that's great, and I watch a lot of them actually. Wild Ginger Runner is one of my favourites, but they're still pretty fast, they're really fit, they're, you know, I'm a lot slower than what they are, so a lot of the things that they'll encounter when they're saying things, it might not be stuff that I encounter. So for example, my first marathon took me nearly 6 hours, which is a very different experience for a slower runner that says they took theirs 4 hours. So I thought I'd give it a go to show you my journey, but also I'm trying to transition to a bit of trail running. I hopefully next year want to do an ultra marathon. I've got London Marathon this year, and just go through that process. I can show you some of the products that I use, some of the things that have helped me, and just for those people that are a bit slower, then we think that, you know, we're not the same as they're not the same speed as everybody else, that we just enjoy doing it, you know, that we're out here just getting it done, and just for, you know, the nature, nice scenery, we just do it because we enjoy it, and it's not about the speed. And that's why I'm actually interested in getting into trail running as well, because it's less about the speed and more about the nature and the snacks, which I'm totally for, but we'll give it a go. So a couple of weeks ago I bought myself my first pair of trail shoes, some ASICs, I'll show you them in a bit, and thought I'd give trail running a go. This is probably my first proper trail run, I would say. I've run around our local meadow a couple of times, but it's not got any hills, it's fairly flat. It was just to get used to the shoes really on a bit of a shorter run. So I've come out today. My husband does metal detecting, and he has a permission in a field, which is just sort of this brown bit at the top here over there. So I've come along with him today, and he's off doing his metal detecting, and I'm basically running around the fields, running around the edges on the public paths. And yeah, so it's really nice, it's really quiet, lots of birds chirping, lots of scenery, lots of green, which I like, nicer than just sort of run around a town with cars and roads and stuff. And but it gives me a bit of a varied terrain. So as you can see, we've got dirt, we've got grass, we're going downhill at the moment, so that's going to go all the way down there. So we've got a bit of up and a bit of down. What I have realised is that trail running in some ways is much easier, because like I said before, you don't have to worry about your speed, you're just doing it. But for me at the minute it's really hard, because you're using so many different muscles that what I'm used to on the road. On the road you're just used to running fairly straight, you know, no lumps and bumps on the road, just kind of like metronomic, you know, you just going through the motions. Whereas here you've really got to watch what you're doing, where your feet are going, where your feet are going, what's happening with your ankles and stuff, so that you're not going to break anything. You really got to watch what you're doing. But it's fun, and because it's more varied, so even though I'm normally slower anyway, I am going a lot slower on the trails than I thought I necessarily would. But like I said, it's just my first one. But it doesn't matter, because it's still just nice to enjoy. I've got my vest and stuff and some snacks. Again, I'll show you those in a bit. I'm trying to get used to eating a bit more on the go. I spoke to someone at our running club, Joe, who said that one of the big things to learn if you are trying to switch to ultra running, which is hopefully what I want to do next year, is trying to learn what you can eat and how much you can eat, and trying to really get those foods in while you're running, because that can be a really hard thing to get used to. So I might only be having a few little gummies today, but because I'm not going that far, but just trying to get used to it as well. So I want to tell you about the shoes I'm wearing, because let's say I got my first pair of trail shoes a couple of weeks ago. I got the ASICS Tobacco Gel 9s. My first pair of ASICS actually. My road shoes are normally the Saucony Omni 19, so I wear a support shoe because I have overpronation quite a lot, and I get pains if I don't wear a good support shoe. And I really like the Saucony ones because they have a wide toe box, and although I've got quite skinny feet, my toes do spread and swell a lot when I run, especially when I'm running long miles. So I find I get rub if I don't wear ones with a wide toe box. I've tried a couple of others. I tried the what are they called? The Brooks Adrenaline 19s, which everybody raves about, but I don't get on with at all. They don't suit me at all, and everybody's different, so some people will love them. And I've also got a pair of Mizuno's. I think they're the Wave 16s or 17s or something. They're alright, but I can only use them for short runs because they're quite narrow toe box. So anything up to 5 miles is that. I find if I go after 5 miles they really start to rub, which is not good. So when I went to get my trail shoes, I tried on the Saucony ones first. So I went to Up and Running in Cambridge. They were really good. The lady there was really helpful. But they were really, really narrow in the toe box. And although you don't want probably as much room to move around in your trail shoes, it was too narrow for me. So we literally tried every pair in the shop until I found the ones that were any good for me. Tried some Brooks, tried some Hokas. The Hokas felt nice, but they squashed my big toe when I put my foot down, so that was no good. So I've ended up with the ASICs. I really like them actually. I've only done about 15 miles in them to start with, so we'll have to see when I start getting hopefully into the longer runs. But so far, no rubbing, comfortable. They are actually, I didn't get them because they were, but it turns out they are actually a sport trail shoe, which they don't really do very many of, because normally trail shoes are not necessarily support or not, or neutral or whatever. Most of them are just neutral, but these actually are a support one, which I didn't realise at the time, but that's good. The grip's really good on them, but I'll pop some pictures and some video on afterwards, after this little bit, and show you. But I think they look nice and they feel nice, so I'm quite pleased with them. There's a little feature on them as well, which I didn't realise when I got them until I watched a review video afterwards, which it's a really small thing, but I really like it. It's got a little pocket on the top of the tongue, so that when you've tied your laces, you tuck your laces in the pocket, so they're not sticking out, so that if you are going through some brush or bramble or whatever, they don't get caught on them and get snagged and pulled and things like that. So small things please me, but I like that. But I really like them so far, so hopefully they continue to be good. So the other thing I wanted to show you was the pack I bought. So I did, I always run with something. So I used to run with a belt, and I've also got a little small vest that I use for running at home, which I found I prefer to the belt rather than having something around my waist. If you like me, you can't really probably see it properly on the video, but I have a smaller waist to hip ratio, and anything I put on my waist ends up halfway up my tummy, and it just becomes really uncomfortable, and rubs and shoe replaces, doesn't stay around my hips because I have big hips and a big bottom. So that's just, it does not as comfortable for me as a vest. So I have a small vest that I wear at home for any of my road running, and that holds my phone, my inhaler. I've got asthma. It does get better with running, which is good. Any snacks I want, any drinks I want, things like that. I know a lot of people go out running and don't take anything with them for maybe say up to, I don't know, 10 miles or something, but that's not me. I go out for 3 miles, I still have something with me, so I always have something on me. But when I knew I wanted to do longer runs, longer trail runs, and hopefully do the ultra running, I wanted to invest in a bigger pack. So people recommend sort of like a 10-litre size, something like that, so you can fit in first aid kit, more snacks, more drinks, waterproof jacket, things like that, especially if you are doing a race and you need to take some bits with you, or when you're doing your long training runs. So I had a look and I was starting to research some of them, and wow, some of them are really pricey. Like, you're looking at Solomon ones and stuff like that, you're talking £90 upwards, £100 more. and I was like, geez, that's a lot of money to spend. Don't know about you, trainers are expensive, Garmins are expensive, everything starts to get expensive for our cheap sport, and especially as it was something new that I hadn't tried before, I didn't know if I want to spend that much money on it. But I started looking in some of the magazines in women's running and stuff like that, and actually one that kept popping up, was a fairly reasonable priced one from Decathlon. It's about £34 I think it was. So it used to be, their own brand used to be called Kalenji, which I think they still do for normal running, but I think their trail stuff is now called Evadit, and that's what this one is. So that's what I'm wearing at the moment. So I thought I'd give it a try because £34 is quite reasonable. So I'll just show you. You've got pockets at the front here. So you've got 2 pockets, one that you can put some soft bottles in, one that you can put some, I've got tissues in that one. Another soft bottle can go in there, which I have got some that I sometimes use, but I went for the bladder today. My phone goes in this one. You've got some other pockets at the side here, which you can fit some snacks in. Now I've got a few snacks in here, but actually there's loads more room. I've got hardly anything in them really. There's tons more room. They're really stretchy. They will fit a lot more in. And then, let's see if I can get a shot round the back. You can sort of see the pack around there, but basically it's got a zip up the back which you can stuff in loads of bits. It's got a separate compartment for your bladder. It's got a little zip inside the big zip which you can put some valuables that you might need to get a hold of quickly, so like your keys or whatever if you don't want to rummage around the bottom. And it's also got a little pouch at the front, which isn't zipped, it's just like a little extra pouch at the back that I've shoved in a buff and some gloves so that if I want to access them quickly I can get to them. But there's so much storage, and all of the fabric on it's really stretchy, so you're not going to have trouble with like trying to close it and force it closed and stuff like that. But so far it's quite comfortable. So you've got 3 clips at the front, and they are either removable if you'd like to only have 2, because some people prefer to only have 2. 3 seems to be fine for me. Or you can move them up and down if you want to put them in a different place. It's got an elastic bit at the side, so that's really soft as well, so it's not rubbing, and it means it fits to you better. Now I went from their size guide online, and it said your chest size in centimetres. I can't remember what the sizings were, but basically it said that I needed the XL one. So there's I think a small to medium, a medium to large, and then an XL or something like that. But I went for the XL one because that's what sizing it told me I needed. It does fit me fine. I probably would have been fine with the size down, because actually if you look on the clips, I'm at the smallest setting on the clips. But then the vest isn't completely full, so it will pull out a bit more when it is totally full, because I've only got a little bit in it today because I wasn't going as far. I was just giving it a try. But I probably would have been alright with the next size down. So they're fairly, you know, fit various different sizes and stretchy and stuff. So I think go off the size guide, but you know, you can always go into the store to try them on. I ordered mine online, so I couldn't do that, but it does actually fit fine. So I think once it's full with flash in the front and that, I'll probably be thankful I got the bigger one. One thing I do like, and again it's a really small thing, and I don't know if anybody else does it, but if you see on the little bit here, there's actually a little Velcro bit that stops the ends from flapping around. So this is something that my lightweight vest that I wear for road running does, and it has these long bits and flaps, and you end up tucking them in and stuff. But this is a really simple thing where it's just got a little bit of Velcro. So this is a bit difficult to do one-handed, but you can basically twist it up, and like with this one, it means that little bit's not flapping around, so you don't have to tuck it in and stuff like that. And I like little things like that, it makes me happy. But overall, I think, especially for £34, this is super good value. It's really comfy so far. It doesn't feel like I've got a ton on me. Like when I first got it, I thought, oh, that's really big, I'm going to feel like it's really bulky, and I'm, you know, not used to running with something that big on, because my vest that I use for running is just quite small. But it doesn't feel like that at all once you've got it on, so I highly recommend it. There is actually one more thing that I'll share with you today. I was just going to leave it there, but I forgot about the snacks. So what I have got is just a couple of snacks with me today, because like I said, I wasn't going very far. So I haven't tried that many different things as far as savoury stuff and that goes, so I've only really got the stuff that I might potentially use in a normal road marathon with me at the minute. But I don't know about you, but I went off gels. So when I did my first marathon, London 2019, like I say, it took me just under 6 hours. I was using the SIS gels, and I thought they were fine at the time, to be fair, not a problem. But partway through the race, probably about mile 18, I really wanted something to eat, not a gel, like actual food, proper food. They did have some of those Lucozade jelly beans not long after that, and they were sort of giving a couple out in a little pot, but there was a lady with a whole bag, so I just sort of grabbed that off her and went with that, because I just needed to chew something, actually eat something. So and ever since then I just can't have the gels. I've just gone off them. They just taste a bit not for me. They were alright, and if you consume them, they are really good, but it didn't upset my tummy or anything. I just gone off them. There is one gel that I like, but I'll show you that in a minute, but it's very different. So one of the things that I've literally just tried these, actually, this is the first time I tried them today, is the High Five gummies. And they're yummy. They're just like little gummy sweets. They're literally small little gummies that are berry flavoured. You wouldn't think they were any kind of running energy thing. They just taste like sweets, so a bit dangerous really. They don't leave them in your pocket, because I probably would just munch on them. And then the other thing that I like, which is similar to that, which I switched to when I stopped using gels, are I've only got one left in the packet here, but the Clif Blocks. So again, they're just little squares of jelly. These are the strawberry ones. The strawberry ones, they just kind of taste like them big strawberry jelly sweets, if you've ever had them. They're the Straubs. That's what I think they taste like. So again, not anything that tastes yucky or horrible. They actually taste quite nice. Nice little treat. And something to chew rather than just a gooey gel. Now, I did say I don't like gels, but I did say there's one that I do like. And it's the only one that I actually like anymore. And that's the goo gel, but the campfire s'mores flavour. I think they just taste like frosting, so they're quite yummy because they don't taste like a gel, they taste like cake frosting, so I totally recommend them. I get most of my fuel stuff from a website called X Miles. I'll put my link in the description, because if you order through someone else's link, people earn points and stuff, so obviously don't feel like you have to, but when you sign up, you earn points through buying things and put your birthday in and leave reviews and all things like that, and it gets you vouchers and stuff like that. But they're really good. They do a big variety and good prices. It's found the only place that I can get like single ones of things to try different things, and the actual flavours and stuff that I like, rather than having to buy a giant box of something from Amazon or something like that. So I do think they're good. It's also where I get my Ninja socks from, and which I'll show you them another time if you're interested in the toe socks, which do feel a bit strange when you put them on, but they are really good. But I'm digressing. Yeah, and in my bladder I've got water mixed with some of the SIS powder, so I still do use some of the SIS products. The powder I really like. I like the powder more than the tablets. I find it a bit sweeter. Some people prefer the tablets because it's not as sweet, but actually I like the powder because it is a bit sweeter, tropical flavoured, so it's quite nice. But yeah, that's some of the things that I use at the minute. So I've been out for about an hour and a quarter now. My husband has just messaged me and said that there's rain on the way, so I'll make a turn around and start heading back, but it won't take me that long to get back because I've made a couple of passes back and forward, not that far away. But just a little bit more about me. So I've, like I said to you, I've done a marathon. I've actually done 2 marathons now. Both were London Marathon. One of them was the virtual. So my first marathon took me just under 6 hours. It was literally 5:59, just made it. My goal was to do it under 6 hours, so I just got there. My second one, which was the virtual, so I did that by myself mostly. Had a friend join me at the end and had my husband supporting me, and a couple of friends come out waving and cheering on the route, so that was nice. But that one took me 5:32, so I did get a PB, which I was very pleased with. But still some improvement could be made, I think. It was hard doing the virtual with no crowds to sort of spur you on. But so I've done 3 like race half marathons. I've obviously done half marathon distance quite a lot more during my training and things, but actual races, my PB for half marathon is 2 hours 23. I'm not really anywhere near that at the minute. I seem to have slowed down even more, so never mind. So my PB for 5k is like 29:29, something like that. Oh, can't get anywhere near that at the minute. That was from 2018 was when I got my PB. At the minute I tried to do a timed 5k the other day and did it in about 32 minutes. I got 30 minutes a couple of months ago, but I think that was a fluke. My PB for my 10k is 1 hour and it was stupid like 36 seconds, which is obviously annoying, but again, nowhere near that at the minute. My 10k now is probably more like 1 hour 9 minutes pushing it, something like that. Haven't been that in a while, but as times went on, like I was saying earlier, it's become less and less about speed and more just about enjoying it. So I love running. It's one of the things that makes me feel strong. Does mean I can eat more as well without getting much bigger, but you know, I'm not skinny like a lot of the runners that we see round, which you know, it's hard to not make comparisons when you see people in videos that don't look like you. I'm a size 16, so that's hence why I had to get the extra large, like I say, bigger chest, bigger bottom, bigger hips, but it makes me feel stronger. It makes me stronger, makes my asthma better. My favourite part of my body, women always, you know, they struggle with their body, but actually my favourite part of my body is my calves, because they're quite muscly. There's not a lot of fat on them. They're not small, but they are what propel me. So that's my favourite part of my body. But yeah, I just love coming out and doing my runs. You get that runner's high afterwards, and that's what it's all about. So we're back home now. Just thought I'd do a little quick outro video because I realised I hadn't done it while we were there. I'm not sure quite what the content's going to be going forward. Obviously when I start training for races and stuff, you'll be able to see me doing things like that. At the minute, obviously I'm not training for anything specific, so we'll just take you along on some different trail runs as we're getting to know the trail runs, and just to get something from a different perspective. Thanks, Hawkeye. Get something from a different perspective of yeah, like I said, a slower runner. These are my dogs, obviously they're joining in themselves. So we've got Hawkeye here, Sirius, and we've got little Sirius here too, who's bringing us his Mickey toy. Sirius might at some point join me on some runs. He's only just over 1, so he's starting to run a little bit now. Hawkeye, unfortunately, is 8 and he's a little bit past the point of wanting to run with me now. He sort of waddles a bit more, but Sirius might join me on some runs in the future. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and like I say, we'll see what we can bring from a different perspective in the future. Thank you. Bye.